All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This video comes from Sound Motivation and is titled Thomas Sowell exposes BLM, Al Sharpton, and Jesse Jackson on self-victimization and black subculture. Now, I think as a black conservative, our message gets misconstrued a lot. I think the main thing, if I could just simplify it as easily as possible, is to stop looking for politics and black leaders and politicians for a change to happen in your life or for black people at mass. Just take all the advantages and opportunities given to you in this country to enhance your life and your family's life. And if everyone was to do that to their best capability, then we would all be better off as black people. And if anyone disagrees with me, let me know in the comments down below. But with that being said, I'm gonna start this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we watching. Now let's roll it.
So it's actually dangerous for less fortunate people to turn to politics.
Oh yes,
as a form of redress.
No question about it. If you look in the United States or around the world, you think of spectacularly successful people, you can almost never name any prominent leader to whom that success can be attributed. I mean, who has made what Asian leader has made Asians successful?
Well, the answer would be Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you do with that example?
That's the outlier.
Okay. All right. All right.
But he didn't do that by championing their cause in Malaysia. He did it by taking charge of Singapore itself independently
and creating free markets.
That's right. But he never had to tell them that their problems were all caused by somebody else. And that's the first thing a quote leader has to do if he wants to remain a leader of some group that's lagging.
President Trump has sent every signal that all of his policies are going to go in line with his rhetoric. I just named you some of his policies. His rhetoric has clearly been that. In my lifetime, I have not seen a president, Republican or Democrat, that you did not have a black in power in the West Wing of the White House. West Wing is where the president's office is in the top one. George Bush, who I did not agree with, marched on, had Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice. George Bush Sr., same thing. Even Ronald Reagan. This is the only president in my lifetime that has no black even empowered in the West Wing.
But in terms of political,
you know, just speaking back to the past days, I remember seeing Jesse Jackson's face all the time. Whenever there was an uproar or an uptick in the black community was mad about something. And, you know, being older now and just wising up a little bit, I see that he just there to take advantage of every race incident that he can. That's the name of the game.
Leaders, all the incentives politically are for black leaders to blame all problems in the black community on the larger society. And that enables them to take on the role of being the defender of the black community against enemies, which in turn creates the situation in which many blacks don't feel that anything that they do is going to help themselves unless it's done politically as a group. That there's no point. I mean, why would you, if you believe what they say, why would you want to knock yourself out in school knowing that the man is not going to let you get anywhere? One of the things I discovered in the research for my book I'm currently working on is that leaders of groups that are lagging in countries around the world almost invariably have counterproductive policies for them. And it makes perfect sense because insofar as members of lagging groups assimilate into the values and achievements of the larger society, they don't need those leaders. I mean, there's no mystery to me as to why Jesse Jackson says what he does, or Al Sharpton and others, because that benefits them, but it does not benefit the people they lead. And all the incentives are for leaders to lead people into things that don't help the people, but help the leaders.
Yeah, they tell you, come follow me, we gonna rally here. They tell you we gotta make a change, we gotta vote. They give you a big white shining enemy, tell you that you gotta hate him, and ultimately the message is, it's a depressing one and it's an angering one. And they could alter that message by making it one of self-accountability. The conservative message in general is to take self-accountability and not victimize yourself and blame someone else for all of your shortcomings. Yes, there have been things done wrongly to black people. We've all been wronged. It's something that you have to get over, because if you don't, you will always see yourself as a victim, and that will be an easy excuse. That will be your excuse every time that you can go to when you fail, because I'm black.
One of the most pathetic things I heard in recent years was a young black man saying that, at one point he thought he would join the Air Force and become a pilot. And then he says he realized that the white man is not going to let a black man become a pilot. And he was saying this decades after the Tennessee Airmen had established their reputation in combat in Europe, But the hopelessness is one of the big products of the race industry. That you have no chance. I remember giving a talk at Marquette, and at the end of the talk, among the questions that was asked, a young black man got up and he said, "Even though I am graduating from Marquette University, what hope is there for me?" And having gone through college when I was in the 50s, I don't remember any blacks saying that in the 1950s, when there was a lot more obstacles to overcome than there were when this guy is graduating from Marquette. But you have to produce that kind of feeling in order to serve the interests of those in the race industry.
Yeah, and I have to say, if you oppose a message like mine and you support a message like the latter, then you have to tell me what's wrong about my message. How is my message of self-accountability going to harm anyone? Whereas you're telling people that they're a victim. It produces hopelessness. I mean, this stuff has been in practice for a long time. It really has. It produces a mental roadblock, a mental barrier, a mental walls you're just trapped in because of your skin color. Especially if you hear from the time you're a little kid until you get older, you go into society with these same feelings. This is something that has to be shed.
You'd create there would be an exception for Dr. King, though, wouldn't there?
Yes, but
he was different because he was earliest, or what? Why? What's different about it?
Well, it's like insurgent movements in general. When an insurgency starts off, by definition, it has an uphill battle. Now, and you can look at the history of Christianity, for heaven's sake. If you're going to be a Christian in the Roman Empire, before in the first century, you had a lot of grief to go through. Now, but after Christianity becomes the official religion of the Roman Empire, this is a bonanza, and there's a lot to be done. And so now you will follow policies that are the opposite of what you advocated. You will see that with all kinds of other insurgent movements.
Somewhere, watching this interview, there's a young Thomas Sowell. There's an African American who's smart and wants to do something with his life. It seems to me we've already got one piece of advice you'd offer to him is stay away from the races industry. Stay away from the race hustlers. What advice would you give a young Thomas Sowell? How do you make something of yourself as an African American in America today?
The way anybody else would. You equip yourself with skills that people are willing to pay for.
Nice and simple. You see how you didn't have to go on explaining that for 10 minutes? You equip yourself with skills that people want to pay for. Better yourself. Better yourself, better your family, better your community. We'll all make the world a better place, but everyone has to take self-accountability for their actions. Wow, this was a great video. Shout out to Sound Motivation. First time ever watching any of their videos. Now you know about them too. I'm going to leave the link down in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on your way out the door. Until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.